Hello. Hello. Shehzad, just turn
Turn
off your
off your
video.
video.
I'm
I'm
seeing your
seeing your
bed and
bed and
everything.
everything.
So
So
right now
right
we are
now we are
having
having
18
18
participants here
participants here
attending,
attending,
and
and
we are going to see. Actually,
actually
yesterday
yesterday
I
I
said
said
that we are
that we are
going
going
to
to
do an
do an
video
video
conversation
conversation
like
like
thing,
thing,
but
but
right
right
now it's
now it's
not
not
working in
working in
that
that
way.
way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm
So I'm
just
just
turning
turning
off
off
my
my
videos,
videos,
and
and
I also
also
request
request
all of
all of
you
you
uh,
uh,
to
to
not
not
use
use
the
the
video,
video
because
because
it
it's
actually
actually
affects the
affects the
entire
entire
network
network
capacity
capacity
in
in
communication.
communication.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
today,
today
your
your
class
class
teacher
teacher
also is
also is
going to
going to
log
log
in
in
into the
into the
system
system
after
after
registration,
registration,
and she
and she
might take
might
your
take your
attendance.
attendance.
So
So
what I
what I
observed,
observed,
before
before
starting the
starting the
session, I
session, I
must have
must
to
have to
tell you
tell you
that
that
when
when
the
the
we
we
ask
ask
you
you
to
to
upload your
upload your
attendance
attendance
in the
in the
shared
shared
Google
Google
sheet,
sheet,
many
many
of
of
you are
you are
actually
actually
entered
entered
100%.
100%.
Okay,
Okay,
that is
that is
from
from
first
first
lecture to
lecture to
this
this
lecture.
lecture.
But I
But I
have the
have the
count of
count of
every
every
lecture,
lecture,
recording of
recording of
every
every
lecture,
lecture,
and
and
even
even
the
the
attendance
attendance
record of
record of
the
the
every
every
lecture. But
lecture. But
only
only
are
are
required to
required to
enter
enter
that
that
afterwards.
afterwards.
So
So
if you
if
are
you are
entering
entering
something
something
which you are
which you are
not
not
done,
done,
means
means
you are
you
not
are not
attended my
attended my
lecture and you
lecture
are
and
entering, you
you
attended the
attended the
lecture,
lecture,
in
in
final
final
attendance it
attendance it
won't be
won't be
get
get
shown.
shown.
Okay,
Okay,
and if
and
you
if you
said that
said
you
that you
attended
attended
that
that
lecture
lecture
just
just
because you
because you
uploaded
uploaded
in
in
Google
Google
Sheet
Sheet
shared
shared
with
with
you,
you,
then I will
then I will
ask you
ask you
for the
for the
proof.
proof.
Okay, and
Okay,
that
and
proof
that proof
must have
must
to
have
be
to be
the
the
WebEx,
WebEx,
what you
what you
can
can
say,
say,
login
login
screenshot, that
screenshot,
is
that is
you are
you are
in
in
that
that
particular
particular
live
live
screenshot,
screenshot,
which is
which is
only
only
available
available
with me
with me
right
right
now.
now.
Okay,
Okay,
so if
so
it's
if it's
not there,
not there,
you are
you are
not
not
present.
present.
So
So
be
be
what can
what can
say,
say,
conscious
conscious
about
about
this
this
thing.
thing.
Don't
Don't
uh, try to
try to
give
give
your
your
proxies.
proxies.
Okay,
Okay,
don't
don't
consider
consider
that just
that just
uploading the
uploading the
attendance
attendance
there
there
means you
means
are
you are
attended.
attended.
No,
No,
I'm not
I'm
going
not
to
going to
work with
work with
that
that
on
on
every
every.
right now
Right now,
my
my
system is
system is
not
not
giving
giving
some the
the
few
few
things,
things,
but
but
still
still
I can
I can
record
record
everything
everything
here.
here.
For
For
example,
example,
right now
right
there
now
are
there are
total
total
34
34
attendees. I
attendees. I
can
can
call
call
their
their
name:
name:
Aishwarya
Aishwarya
Patil,
Patil,
Aishwarya
Aishwarya
Shinde,
Shinde,
Almas
Almas
Bagde,
Bagde,
Amit
Amit
Chauhan,
Chauhan,
Asma
Asma
Nehal,
Nehal,
Dheeraj
Dheeraj
Kolhe,
Kolhe,
Ganesh
Ganesh
Pekam,
Pekam,
Gaurav
Gaurav
Chauksi,
Chauksi,
Komal
Komal
Gaekwad,
Gaekwad,
Mansi
Mansi
Garad,
Garad,
Mayur
Mayur
Shinde,
Shinde,
Naumesh
Naumesh
Sarodar,
Sarodar,
Prathamesh
Prathamesh
Sonar,
Sonar,
Priya
Priya
Biradar,
Biradar,
Pushpak
Pushpak
Raut,
Raut,
Riddhi
Riddhi,
Nilawar,
Nilawar,
Ritik
Ritik
Wagmare,
Wagmare,
Rohit
Rohit
Pandita,
Pandita,
Raunak
Raunak
Goze,
Goze,
Rupesh
Rupesh
Padtare,
Padtare,
Sahil
Sahil
Jabde,
Jabde,
Sheikh
Sheikh
Sakshi
Sakshi
Hole,
Hole,
Sakshi
Sakshi
Singh,
Singh,
Samir
Samir
Mishra,
Mishra,
Sanket
Sanket
Jadhav,
Jadhav,
Sheikh
Sheikh
Sahjad,
Sahjad,
Shruti
Shruti
Thamaria.
Thamaria.
Hmm. Then
Then
You are having this Shubham Kachore, Siddharth Jadhav, Soham Jain, Sudham Begde, Sumit Patil, Tanya Karjikar, Tejas Gaikwad, Tejasvi Kashyapi, Vaishnavi Bajaj, and like. So all of your names, Yukta Kulte is the last name here, and Vijay Raj Bhakre, Vaishnavi, and as you log in, for example, when I was reading this, the 35 were there, now is 42. So few more peoples are logging, and that list is here with me. Okay, so if you are doing this, or if you are considering this as what can say just passing wrong information of the attendance will help you, no, kindly dissipate this message with all of your friends. Attendance is very compulsory, and there is one thing that I want to share with you, and that is what you say your TAE and CAE timetable. I think class teacher already have forwarded it to you. I'm going to upload that print today on Google Classroom. Okay, and expect that every one of you have joined the Google Classroom right now. Okay, so there are total 135 students, and today I got around 122 mails that I forwarded the reminder to. Out of these 122, if I delete me, your class teacher, and then the three what can say higher authorities of the college, so it's around uh, 5 minus. Okay, so 122 minus 5. There are 117 people who are registered for this event. Total number of students are 135. So I expect that all the other who are not yet registered for the event for this lecture should and must, okay, registered by today itself, because I'm going to disable the registration facility today 11 or night. Okay, so from tomorrow onwards, if you are not registered for SCPM class, you will be not registered for the class. Okay, completely. And from the email systems, whatever the email backups I'm having of your registration, okay, if you are using your personal email IDs like Gmail, okay, something, in a registration form, kindly mention your complete name and the roll number. If you are already registered, it's not possible. Your number name is already there. Okay, so we will consider this as something what we call say one-to-one conversation. So if you are having any what can I say question or queries about the first unit, anything that you want to discuss with me right now, you can ask. Okay, just a minute. I am on the phone call for Gore sir. Hello sir, lecture चालू है. हाँ, so if you are having any questions or something, it's just raise the questions in question and answer in first for the first unit. All the notes, all presentations, required books, and everything are already uploaded on the Google Classroom. And so, if anybody is require that, just log in into the Google Classroom. Code is already shared with you. Okay, if you don't know the code, I will reshare that code after the end of this session. Okay, so if you are having any queries, questions, I'm sharing here the Google Classroom code for the third year computer software engineering. Okay. Classroom. So questions for first unit. So if you won't have the questions, may I ask you the questions? Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions, and whoever is ready to answer that, simply raise the hand. I will unmute that person, and you have to talk. That means you have to give the answer to the question. So, what exactly you mean by waterfall? Means what you understood from waterfall model of software engineering? The first question. Anyone who want to answer the question can raise the hand. Okay. So, Raunak, you can answer the question.
Basically, waterfall model is a linear sequential model as per the book. But from my side, it's a typical one from gathering the information to the maintenance. Like information, then by information and discussion, we have the design, means by mostly by the paper layout, and then the coding part, which the technical issues also the resolved. Then mainly focused on the testing part. Here the feedbacks also taken from the expertise, and then after testing the product is released, and after that we have the maintenance part. And also
Okay.
benefit, it's simply to implement, because it's like a simple flow from gathering information to the maintenance. And it have the very small system gathered in each the domain, and also all the domain plays very crucial role.
So if other people like his answer, they can upload with some smiley or yes or thumbs up, something for the Raunak. Hello, his friends. I think Raunak have given the good answer about the thing. So now I'm asking the another question, that is, why is it necessary to practice XP, engineering or extreme programming? I think Shiv Prasad Lagde has said yes. Shiv Prasad, can you answer for this? Why extreme programming is necessary? No? You muted yourself. Okay, I think you have raised hand for the first question, what was already answered by Go Zero. So, for extreme programming, what are the characteristics of extreme programming and how it is useful? Anyone? Okay. Nomesh Sarda, you can answer. Nomesh, you are not audible. Try to answer it once again. I think you have minimized the window or something is there. That's why you're not audible. Background noise is audible. Okay. Okay. Nomesh is not ready to answer. Whoever else, I'm not going to ask many questions. Okay. Last question from the first unit I'm going to ask. And then we will start for the new unit, that is unit number 2. Okay. So for this extreme programming, if as nobody is giving the uh, what you can say hi uh, to me, I am giving you the answer that extreme programming is very essential in business scenario because it's actually concentrate on the right now business requirements. So what are the requirements of big business at that particular instance are only answered by extreme programming, and it meets the deadline, and it's require a multidiscipline like working, and so maximum industries, businesses which are service oriented like Infosys. I'm just naming these industries where extreme programming is practiced. Okay, in India, first is Infosys. Second, you can see your TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Then you can have the Wipro softwares, and then Indian companies. Then for India, you are having after this all the web designers in India are website, what you can say, web service providers. So if you see all these people, they are actually uh, uh, giving all this thing uh, to the people. Okay, so if you go with this, extreme programming is again very helpful for the business people because it's emphasis on pair programming. So even if one person leave that particular industry, the another person who already know the code is remain there, and so there is a backup provision, and that's why extreme programming is practiced by many industries. These are the few you can say reasons which you require to analyze based on the extreme programming characteristics. Now my next and the last question for the first unit is about agile development. Okay, so in agile development they emphasize on human factors. Okay, and this says that it is very necessary to we can say handle the human factors. Okay, for example, right now if you say Sudham Phegde, Sukanya Pawal, Sumit Patil, they simply log in and minimize the screen. Then Shruti, Tharmiya, Shubham, Kachore, they are in the list of minimize thing. Okay, as soon as you call your name, you are making this. Samir Misra is another one. Okay, then we are having many such people. Pranav Pekam, Kunal Pawar, and then Amit Chauhan. So this is what we call as a human factor. हॅलो आहे माझं लेक्चर चालू आहे थोड्या वेळानं लेक्चर चालू आहे माझं थोड्या वेळानं कॉल कर so if you consider all these things, these are human factors. So my question is that why agile development says that human factor is more important in successful development of any product. Okay? In successful development of any product. Total 72 participants are registered. So now we can start with our lecture. Okay, Raunak wants to answer. Yes.
The so from my side, agile principle is important, and secondly, you pointed on the human factor. It's very important because if we think about the scientist, why they are inventing the things, because they are fully motivated about their point, like which things they want to invent for their society.
Yeah.
So from my I'm thinking that human factor is so very important to develop things by their dedication.
Yes.
The best example is like ISRO. Due to the dedication of all the scientists of our country, they can even beat the NASA.
Yeah. So that is what the correct answer should have to be. Means you require to be very motivated to give some means what you can say out of the box solution or something which is very efficient and effective, and that's why human factors are more important than the other skills. Okay, because if the team works together in a correct way, it can create more we can say efficient and effective products, and that is why human factors are considered as more important in agile development. Okay, so I'm really thankful for the good answer from Raunak. What I want every one of you to participate in this question answer. So if any one of you are having still having some questions, you can raise those questions in question and answer. Okay, and we'll go through it after end of the session. So now I'm going to share with you the today's presentation on unit number 2, which is actually deal with the requirement engineering. So we'll try to see what is requirement engineering and likewise, and then we will once again revisit the things. So here we are having this uh, unit number 2, which says software engineering practice and overview, communication practices, planning practices, modeling practices, construction and deployment practices, system engineering hierarchy, business process engineering, product engineering, and system modeling. So this entire part of the system, we are going to see afterward. I am starting with the requirements engineering, because requirements engineering actually covers all this, and in some miniature format, all these things are already covered in the first unit. Okay, so if you are having any queries, questions, or anything regarding this, you can raise the questions in your question and answer box. Okay, we'll deal it at the end of session. Okay, so are you with me, guys? Okay, yes. Almost everyone is with me. Only two people are here who have minimized their screen. Now I'm tired of taking your names. Okay, Akash Kudali. Okay, okay. So we'll go with today's presentation first. Uh, so if you consider software engineering, these are the basics principles of software engineering, and so I haven't used for describing these principles the some advanced slides and likewise. Okay, so software engineering requirements or requirements engineering. All these and requirements we are actually gathering the data for the development of a software. So thing is generally called as RE, book by Ian Somerville, which is on Google Classroom. I uploaded it. That you can go through for more information. On the requirement engineering. Requirement engineering helps in finding and understanding many things of the system by answering following. So we'll see one by one what. First thing, it answers to develop a system. You need to know its ingredients. Okay. Now what is a requirement engineering says that you need to know its ingredients. So requirement engineering actually help you in identifying the ingredients of your system. All the ingredients of your systems are actually uh, you can say used by this uh, thing. So if you consider this, requirement engineering is something which is very so to develop a system you needs to know its ingredients. Now when we say a system, what are its ingredients, that we must have to answer first. For example, let's say suppose you design and develop a small web application, a web app, or in your language it's called as nowadays as an app. Okay, which is available on mobile phone, and so you created a app which gives the information about all the shops, all type of shops in Wagholi. And you say that as a shop in Wagholi. This is a your app's name. So when you say shop in Wagholi, I am having that app. I know all the you can say shops, every shop, small or big, no matter. And those shops are there which we are using. So what are the ingredients of this system? When we say system, it is not just the software. Okay, this system have the shop owners, they are the part, they are the ingredients. Okay, then you have the customer base, they are the ingredients. So you require two different databases. One to have all the data of your customers, and one you require to have all the data of your sellers, those are the shop owners. Then you require all the data, a third database for different type of products which may get sold on your application. So if you go with the things, you got here three databases. This is called as ingredients. So when we say ingredients of a system, we are actually talking with all participating factors in your system. Now they may be customers, they may be buyers, so they may be users, they may be sellers, they may be the administrators, okay, who is administrating that entire system. They may be the software program instead of human, they may be non-human entities. So all those things are called as ingredients of a system. And when we say ingredients, we are actually dealing with this thing. So this is what we call as ingredients. Now what is the next part? So next part in your system is how will we control and data flow. The control and data flow means, say suppose how the input can be given to the system, or how system is going to accept the input. For example, let's say suppose you created this shop in Wagholi app, and now you want the control, means you want to order vada pav. Okay, just consider, or say suppose you want to order a book, or let's say suppose you want to order a pen, or you want to order some clothes, and likewise. So how you can order? Either how, so you have to go to the product, search product, display product, and likewise, just like on Amazon. Or you can have a scanner, okay, which will scan some image in your home. You don't know the product. Let's say suppose you want to order potato, but you don't know the spelling of potato and what it say, like this. Then you can simply scan that particular image, potato, in your house, and your app will identify that product and will say potato. Okay, and then you can order that, like that. So that is what we can say data flow. And the control means how that data get processed. So control and data flow of your software system is very what you can say backbone, or is a bonaparte of your entire software. So when we say requirement engineering, we try to identify the control as well as the data flow. Then third is estimation of the time and financial budget of system development. Anything which is not designed and developed within a time or a particular time frame is not considered as an efficient implementation. So whenever you are implementing something, you require to consider one thing, and that one thing is time and financial budget. Now let's come to our application. uh, these peoples who are having exclamatory mark just their name, they are minimize their windows, they are not giving any attention. I'm not now going to take their name, because once these videos get uploaded on YouTube, the whole world will know who was giving attention to the lecture and not. Okay, so right now we are on 76. So just go with the flow of our presentation. So estimation of the time and financial budget of system development. Your app is Shop in Wagholi. So Shop in Wagholi app is there. So you want to design and develop this app, and let's say suppose you estimated time required is 30 days. Okay, but in 30 days you design and develop a app. But who is going to buy on your app if there is no seller who's registered on it? Okay, so you require some finances. So let's say suppose your mother or father or say big brother or some friend lend you money, say 10,000 rupees. They said, let's take this 10,000 rupees, set up your own startup or a small business, register it, and then you can go and ask every, you can say, owner of the some business in Wagoli to register on your app so that they can get the order on their what can say mobile and then likewise, and you will work as a middle person to deliver the products and something. Okay, or it's not you, actually your firm which is started with the 10,000 rupees. Now 10,000 rupees are given to you. From this 10,000 rupees you require to give some money for the daily maintenance, some money for the developers payment, and likewise, and 1 month is given. So that what we call as an estimation time and financial budget system, and that comes only through the requirements engineering. So software engineering or software development is something where you are actually dealing with the business. It is not something that you can learn theoretically. Means even if you are having a MBA degree, Master of Business Administration, okay, and if you are not doing a business, that degree counts nothing. Okay, if you are doing a service and you are MBA, then it is having a MBA degree is useless. So, in the same way, when you are saying is the software, and if it is not sold in the market, or if it is not earning money for you or making money for you, yeah, then it is not a software at all. So, if you require a software development, a software require to estimate the time you require to estimate. Say, suppose you decided that the first version of Shop in Wagoli will be launched within a month, and then the next version of the Shop in Wagoli with an advanced feature will be in next month, and likewise, and you go on doing that. This is called a timetable, complete timetable, and then with that you also decided to have the financial budget for this. Let's say suppose at start you said you are not having sufficient money, and you two or three friends gathered together, and you said, okay, we only got the 10,000 rupees. Let's divide this 10,000 rupees between five friends. Among five friends, as a 2,000 rupees for the 1 month salary or investment for the business, and start the business. So you visited say few sellers, and say suppose out of 100 sellers in Wagoli, 20 sellers said, okay, yes, we are going to register with you. So they registered with you, they give the all details of their products, you enter those products in your list, you entered the details of sellers in your list, you created the buy, sell, all type of forms, and likewise, and you launch your application. Okay, and you launch this application among your so within the campus within Wagholi, and many people join it, and then now you want to make your application work in a good way. So you go on raising your budget system. For advertising you require some budget, for marketing you require some budget, and for hiring a new skill also you require some budget. So when you say what is required, so requirement engineering says estimation of the time and financial budget of a system development. So when we gather the information for a software development, we are not just gathering the information about what is the computer language we are going to use for coding, and which type of computer we are going to use for coding or system. It's the entire business system where you are actually developing a software. Okay, the software is a product. Whenever I say software, means it is sellable. If I say no software, okay, if I say it's not a software, we can say it is not uh, when say from time and financial budget. So here you can have this budget, yeah. So budget systems are there, financial budget system and like. So if you go with this, you can say this as uh, So next is what are the resources required? Once you got the development ingredients, what will be the control and data flow, what will be the time and where, you require to find out the different type of resources. For example, for the application shop in Wagoli, okay, say suppose one person have given an order. Let's say suppose our college have put order of 1000 books on your shop in Wagoli. One book supplier is already registered with you, and those 1000 books required to be delivered, but the book supplier says he is not having any delivery system with him. Okay, so he is ready to give you the books, but delivery you require to arrange on your own. Here comes the logistic business, and so all those things are there. So there are many type of resources that you require to carry out your entire software, what can you say, working, and those resources you require to identify. So what are these requirements, or what are the things? So there are, again, you are having this thing, the first, what we call as a functional. Okay, first what we call as a functional requirement, and second we call as a non-functional requirement. Now let's see what are the functional aspects of the system. Functional aspect of your Shopping Wagoli app will be how the customer will log in into it, how, what type of forms he required to enter, what type of, I can say, procedures he required to authenticate himself and to place orders. And when I'm seeing here the users or your clients, okay, then uh, anyone who is doing this annotation unnecessarily, stop it. Okay, so if you are doing the what will functional and non-functional. So functional things or functional requirements are technical requirements which are actually related with your software development. Now, what are the non-functional aspects of your system? The part of your system which is not possible to implement using computer technology only is called as a non-functional aspect. So what are the non-functional aspects? First, the legal aspects. You can't implement them using C, Python, Java language. Legal aspects are implemented using the legal system or legislation system of the government. There are certain laws, rules that you require to follow. For example, you require to pay for the GST, you require to pay for their other taxes, and likewise you have to have the legal binding. You require to have the software license agreement, SLAs, or what you can say, EULA, end user license agreements for that software, and something. You require to have copyrights, you require to have patents, you require to have many other things like this. You may require to pay for some damages to the goods which may happen in a logistic and use where you are working as a middle person. So those are the non-functional aspects of your system. All aspects which can't be implemented just by using the technology of computers or information communication technology. You may use the other technology like logistic, you may use the vehicle, you may use the humans likewise. For example, sending a food, you can send the photograph of the food as an attachment on email, but sending real food, you require the physical or real transport of that food from one location to another location. So this aspect of your system is called as a non-functional aspect of the system, and that you require to identify. The sixth point in the requirement engineering is what will be the constraints for development. So what are the constraints for development? There are many constraints for the development. The first constraint that you require to consider for the development is the time itself. For example, if someone asks you to give, we can say, something within a time, it may happen that you may fail to deliver something that within time. Okay, and that is what you can say, time is itself a constraint. Another is your money is also the constraint. For example, at the start of this lecture, it says that, say, suppose you got given with the 10,000 rupees by the mm, people, okay, or what you can see, your friends, to you to start your business, but 10,000 rupees is very, very less amount to design and develop a software, and so this type of constraints can cause a thing. So you require to have the more funds, and likewise. So what we call as the vitamin M or money is the first constraint. Time is the second constraint. So the third is the skill is the constraint itself. Let's say suppose you decided to work on the shop in Waguli, and suddenly you found that you don't have the required skill of Android programming. That is the constraint. So you require to go train yourself, or you have to hire an expert, and so those are the constraints for development. Constraints means simply the limitations. Okay, the limitations which are manageable, which you can overcome by doing some extra work. Okay, then, so if you consider all these one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 points of requirement engineering, so requirements engineering actually emphasis on the very base of software development. Okay, so if you done a proper requirement engineering process, or if you follow properly the requirement engineering process, and all the data requirement gathered actually answers all these six requirements, then your software will be very, very efficient and effective. So what are the requirements? These are the basis for every project. It is defining what the stakeholders. Now, who are the stakeholders? Users, customers, suppliers, developers, business in potential new system, and other things. All those stakeholders require to be get satisfied using these requirements. Okay. So this is what is required in a requirement engineering. Now we'll see why it is required. Obviously, requirements provide both navigation chart, and at the same time, requirements also provides you the complete information about the other things, like what we call as just not the navigation. Other things means, when we say other things, it simply means that requirements are giving you the means towards steering this navigation. And so, now you know this requirements something. So you know that you require customers, you require products, you require sellers, you require a legal entity, now you require a software developer, you require a logistic thing. So all these are gathered together. You have a shop in Wagoli app ready. Okay. Now, if you expand these things, this shop in Wagoli then can become shop in Pune, then it can become shop in Maharashtra, then it can become shop in India, or you can call this as a open mart India. Okay. So you can grow, but thing is that you require to have for this purpose this navigation chart, and you require to have this steering towards the selected destination. So if you have this requirement, uh, then you require this agreed requirements provide the basis for planning. Once you do the agreed requirements, means when you communicate with the customers, everything you got all plan ready, the requirements upon which everyone is agreed is considered as the solid requirement that you require to implement, and so it can give you the exact and discrete plan to design and develop your software. So these requirements therefore form the basis for first project planning. Okay, for example, shop in Wagoli simple app. Once all requirements are gathered, and if they are finalized and agreed upon, you know that for customer you require customer database, for product you require product database, for seller you require seller database, For buying and selling, you require a transaction database. Then you require for complaints and other thing, you require a legal database, and likewise. So all databases will be created. Then those databases will be linked with each other using primary key, secondary key, and other type of security options. And likewise, so you got a complete architecture, and then you know that to design and develop this, you require this much of time. So as soon as you get the time, you get the timetable, what you are going to done in a particular time period. For example, let's say suppose shop in Wagoli, you want first 2 hours early in the morning, let's consider 10 to 12, you are going to discuss whatever happened in last meeting. Okay, so in first day you are not having any last meeting. So in first day you are actually discussing about what you are going to do. Then you are going to take a break. Okay, 12 to 1, let's consider your eating break. 1 to 3, you want to design and develop the project. Okay, so to design and develop a project, you require to communicate with the customers or involved party, what we call as the stakeholders. Then you are going to take a break of say half hour, and from 3:30 onwards till say your capacity, but generally is considered up to 6 p.m. You are going to actually code the things, and this you are regulating every day. Now for 30 day you created a plan, every Sunday you say okay off. Okay, so 6 days, 6 days, 6 days, you have total 24 days. Okay, and within 24 days, if you stick to this plan courageously, courageously means even if you won't like that work schedule, you are still completing the work with efficiency and effectiveness, then we call that as a courage. So that is what we call as a project planning. So when requirements are there, requirements means if your requirements are clear, you can do a project planning very easily. When requirements are clear, you can even manage the risk. Now because requirements are clear, you know what you require to attain within a time, and while attaining what can may happen. For example, now I'm just shifting from the shopping Wagoli app example. Just consider that you want to learn a swimming. Okay, and you have a small swimming pool, hardly 3 feet deep. Okay, so risk management is easy. Yeah, you are not going to drown in a 3 feet pool anyhow. Okay, but let's say suppose you learn to float on that 3 feet deep water. So you want to transfer directly from 3 feet to 30 feet deep water. It is quite devastating. Okay, so because the what you can say volume of that water can cause you can say many risks, a risk to life. In the same way, you created a small app, shop in Wagoli, returning back to our application, and that app becomes successful with 100 sellers, 1,000 buyers. 100 sellers, 1,000 buyers, you are the middleman. And from that success, you said, okay, it's so possible for us to apply this, and you launch directly open mark India. Okay, so you create you ask all the you can say sellers from India to register on your application, and you started selling all over the India. Possible? No, there are too many risks because transactions are there, every state is having its own tax, you require to enhance your legal database and something. Now if you want to give the login something, your servers require to be very powerful and something. So the risk management is means identifying your capacity, and then working out your what you can say training, or what you can say working out your plan. For example, when you join a gym, on first day they won't give you too much to practice, but if you are regular to gym and you are regularly courageously doing the exercise, say after 1 year, or maybe after 2 year, or maybe after 3 year, or maybe after 3 months, based on your courage or regular practice, you can lift the weights which are even higher than your own weight. Okay, a 50 kilo person can lift the weight of 100 kg. But that happen, that is what we call as a risk management. When your requirements are clear, we can manage the risk very easily, or very in a very efficient manner. Acceptance testing, if your project plan is very clear. If you are efficient at risk management, whatever planning you are doing, that generally get accepted readily by your customers or stakeholders. So acceptance testing means simply putting your planning before the customers. In requirement engineering, you are not implementing anything right now, so everything is on a paper, all those paperworks are there, and you are simply, for example, if you want to design and develop a mini project which is a part of software engineering, and you come up with a small idea, you require to get that idea approved by your mini project coordinator. Yes. So when he say approved means accepted, so you have to put that idea, mini project idea, with project planning and risk management details. What is trade off? Trade off is something whenever you design and develop any product, that product always give you some advantageous side, and sometimes it may give you non-advantageous sides, and all those things required to be considered here. This may be extra value, or what we call as a VAS, value added services, that you have to identify. Okay. Then the change control. Many times what happens, say suppose you are selling a product, and people are not ready to buy it. Okay, people want something different, so you require to change the product, you require to enhance your product. Take an example of mobile phone companies, Indian mobile phone companies specifically, Lava, Carbon, Micromax. They all once upon a time actually flooded the market, but because they failed to what can I say, accept the change and accordingly change their product or enhance their product. Okay, those companies actually thrown out of competition. A very biggest company, a gigantic company, or what you say, gigantic company Nokia, actually become almost absent in the mobile market just because they failed to manage the change control. So you require to continuously refine the entire process of the business. So here, to refine the entire process of business, you require to use the business intelligence, which is not the part of software engineering. But if you won't use the business intelligence, business analysis, requirements engineering properly, change control can't be thing. For that purpose, this is very necessary. But when this change control is possible, if your requirements are clear. So requirements are the basis for this. So what is requirement engineering's takeaway from this discussion is that it is a scientific methodological approach of gathering, classifying, and prioritizing of all requirements required to develop and maintain. Just not to develop. Once development is done, you require to maintain the system, but just not the system, the quality of a system or a quality system. So this is why it is required. Now we are going to see the requirement engineering process in brief. Okay, so this is the requirement engineering process in brief. This diagram is adapted from the Ian Somerville's book, while some contents are actually adapted from Roger Pressman, and few of the descriptions that I am giving is out of my own experience of software engineering or software development process, and from some of my friends who are actually working in various software companies. Okay, so right now if you say Monica Shelar, Mruna Chide, Nikhil Fadke, Nikita Sole, Nomesh Sardar, I don't know why you are minimizing your windows unnecessarily. Okay, don't minimize the windows. Okay, so we are going to see this. First, you are having what we call as a requirement elicitation. So it is start. Once this start is done, so we go with this requirement elicitation. So what are the user requirements and what are the other requirements are there? So business requirement specifications, user requirement specification, system requirement specifications, and modeling. These are done by this. So first start gives the business requirement, what are the required financial budget and something. Then this business requirements goes to the feasibility study, whether the idea is implementable within a time or not. That is called as a feasible. Means if I ask you to say do something, say within a day. For example, if I ask you to write down a book of 500 pages within a day, impossible task. It is not feasible. But if I ask you to write down a 5 pages, you can say note on this subject, possible. So that is what you call as a feasible or not. So feasibility means you are just checking the possibility of of implementation of the particular idea. Then you go with the user requirements, what is required by user. These user requirements actually leads to user requirement specification, which leads to prototyping. So you go on rapid prototyping. So what are the user requirements? Those are actually get seen and uploaded, and here you get, and you see the prototyping. Once this prototyping is done, okay, so what is user requirement? For example, when we say shop in Wagholi app, the user requirements are you have the customers, sellers, products, legal entities, and likewise. So prototype, you have the Amazon, Snapdeal, Flipkart, like e-shop or e-commerce websites. So you can do the application development using rapid prototyping. So prototype is developed. This prototype will give the path to system requirement elicitation. So elicitation means now you got the idea. Okay, so when you got this idea, you require to go for actual modeling. Once these modelings are done, but nothing is yet implemented, all those things are only on paper, because we are dealing with the first phase of software engineering, which is called as requirement engineering. Once these phases are done, you are going for the requirements, system requirement specification and modeling. So system requirement. हाँ, तुमची ओके 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 घ्या घ्या हाँ हाँ अच्छा तुम्ही तिथून मॅडम मेसेज टाकायचा ना, याच्यावर नाही त्याच्यावरच टाका ना. तुम्ही लॉग इन केलेलं आहे ना, क्वेश्चन आन्सरचा मेसेज टाकायचा किंवा असा हात वर करायचा. ठीक आहे, तुम्ही तुमच्या सिस्टमवरून घेऊ शकता. तुम्ही तुमच्या याच्यावर अनम्यूट करू शकता. हा मी केलेलं आहे. तुम्ही तुमच्या नावानं झालेला आहे ना. हा ठीक आहे, मी अनम्यूट करतो. हो हो हो. हा हा. So hello students, the Satkar madam and Nayak madam is going to take your attendance, online attendance. So I am unmuting them. They are going to take us, Suvarna Satkar madam and Chaya Nayak madam. Okay, so I am unmuting
Good
Chaya.
afternoon, sir. Good
हाँ
afternoon, sir.
हाँ. Hello madam. Hello.
Hello.
हाँ.
Good
So
afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. I should have to unmute all. Okay, I'm stopping this sharing, and here I'm saying
Hello.
hello. I'm unmuting everyone.
Hello.
Hello, you can speak now, everyone. Madam will take your attendance.
आपण ते त्याला बोलू सुद्धा मग खूपच चांगलं मॅटर झाल्यापासून त्याला बोलू सुद्धा म्हणजे 2 दिवस बोलला का
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Should I take the attendance, sir?
Yeah, madam.
Roll number 1.
दुसऱ्या अकाउंटवरून बघते माझं स्टेटस
Roll number 2. Roll number 3. Dear students, I am taking your attendance. Am I audible to all of you?
तसंच करते की
Friends, my voice is clear.
ती जाऊ दे भैया सकाळी बोलला मी मला वाटलं भैया अजून सकाळी बाहेरचं का वजन थोड्या
Just want the confirmation from your side.
All
Am I audible
students
to all of
kindly
you?
unmute yourself. All students
Hello.
unmute yourself and say yes, madam, for to the madam.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I am taking your attendance. I don't want any disturbance during the attendance because I will not repeat again and again. Okay?
Okay.
Roll number 1.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Roll number 2. Roll number 3. Roll number 3. Roll number 4. Roll number 5.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 6.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 7. Roll number 8.
Yes, ma'am.
Roll number 9. Roll number 9. Roll number 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 18, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Roll number 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 20. 24. 25. 25. 20, 26.
Yes, ma'am.
20, 26. 27. 27. 28. 29. 30. Anyone is remaining from roll number 1 to roll number 30? Roll number 1 to roll number 30?
Ma'am, roll number 1.
Ma'am, roll number 13.
No.
1.
Roll number 1 हुआ.
Hello, ma'am.
2.
Roll number 1.
Just listen carefully. Yes,
Ma'am,
हाँ
1.
बोलो.
1, 1.
रोल नंबर 1 हुआ है. 11 ना.
13.
Madam,
13 हुआ ठीक. और
2, 3 सब है.
हेलो. रोल नंबर 11, 13. Now 31.
Ma'am, roll number 10.
रोल नंबर 10. हेलो.
Ma'am, roll number 10.
रोल नंबर 11. 10 हुआ है. 10 हो गया.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, roll number 4.
हेलो. रोल नंबर 4
Yes, ma'am.
हुआ. और नेक्स्ट. रोल नंबर 6 हो गया.
26.
26 हुआ.
8.
Ma'am, roll number 17.
Then 31.
Ma'am, roll number 17.
क्या है रोल नंबर? 17 हो गया. हुआ. नेक्स्ट.
Ma'am, 25.
25. Then